Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're going beyond just grammar rules. We're looking at the secret language of, well, sophisticated thought.
Yeah, the architecture of clarity, you could say.
Exactly. Stuff that can really transform your writing, especially when it counts, like, in the IELTS exam. We're about to plunge into complex sentences.
Mm.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it's not just about ticking a grammar box, is it? It's strategic. It's about lifting your ideas.
That's precisely our mission today. We want to give you a kind of shortcut to understanding why these sentences are so important. They're not just a requirement. They're essential tools for getting across complex ideas properly.
Right.
And this deep dive, it's built on insights from IELTS Buddy. We're going to show you exactly how mastering these things directly impacts your test scores and, honestly, your general fluency, too.
Okay, so let's get straight to it. Why should you, listening right now, really care about complex sentences? What's the immediate benefit? Sometimes grammar feels a bit dry.
It's a fair question. And the answer, especially for IELTS, is surprisingly direct. Our source points right to the writing marking criteria. You know, the part about grammatical range and accuracy.
Okay? The official stuff.
Yes. And here's the kicker. If you can't really write complex sentences or you only use very simple ones, the examiner literally cannot give you more than a band 5 for that section.
Wow, band 5, that's a hard ceiling.
It is. It's a fundamental gatekeeper. You just can't get those higher scores without them. It's non-negotiable, really.
That really puts it into perspective. It's essential, not optional. But it's not like you have to be perfect straight away, is it? The source mentioned something about band 6. A bit more reassuring.
Yes, that's a good point. For band 6, it says a mix of simple and complex sentence forms is used.
A mix, okay.
And importantly, some errors are okay, as long as they rarely impede communication.
Right, so you don't have to be Shakespeare. Just show you can use different structures, mostly correctly.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating that range, even if you slip up occasionally. Communication is key.
That's probably a relief for many people listening. Progress, not perfection. Now, you mentioned complex structures earlier. The source hints there's more than just complex sentences for the really high bands.
That's right. Good catch. Complex sentences are foundational, definitely, but they're just one type of complex structure.
Okay.
If you're aiming for band 7 or even higher, you'll eventually need to explore things like complex noun phrases.
Like packing more description around a noun.
Sort of, yeah. And nominalization that's turning verbs or adjectives into nouns makes things sound more formal, more academic. And complex verb phrases, too. We won't dive deep into those today. That's definitely for another time.
Sure.
But it's good to know the path continues, right? It doesn't stop here.
Yeah, it's like building blocks. Today we're mastering these essential bricks, the complex sentences. Okay, but first things first. Before we build those complex sentences, we need the actual bricks. Here's where it gets really interesting. We need the components. Oh, so starting right at the basics. What is a clause?
Simple definition, really. A clause is just a group of words with a subject and a verb.
Subject, verb. Got it. The core unit.
That's it, the engine of the sentence.
Okay. And the source, it uses this great analogy for a dependent clause. Like a baby needing its mother.
Yeah.
It cannot survive on its own.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Like if you just hear, because it was raining so hard, it feels unfinished, right?
Totally. It has a subject, it, and a verb was raining, but so what? It needs more context. It can't stand alone.
It needs that main idea to attach to.
Exactly. Now, contrast that with an independent clause. That can be a complete sentence all by itself. Like, example, I took my umbrella.
Simple. Clear. Makes sense alone. Subject I, verb took. Done.
Perfect. Stands on its own feet.
And the magic, the aha moment, happens when you put them together. I took my umbrella because it was raining so hard. The independent clause gives the main action, and the dependent one adds the reason, the why. Suddenly it's richer, more informative than just two separate little sentences.
Precisely. They work together to create a more sophisticated meaning.
Okay, so now we have our building blocks. Independent clauses that stand alone, independent clauses that need support. We're ready to build.
The source says there are basically 3 main types of complex sentences to get our heads around. A structured approach, which is helpful.
Yeah, 3 key types. Let's start with the first one.
Lead the way.
Okay, so the first type we'll look at are adverbial clauses. Think of these as the clauses that tell you how, why, when, or where something is happening.
So they add context, the circumstances around the main action. They show relationships, cause and effect, time, conditions, and the key ingredient is the subordinating conjunction. Words like because, Although, if, until, while, when.
Even though as those kinds of linking words.
Right, they're the glue holding the independent and dependent clauses together.
Okay. And the source example is quite clear. Some experiments on animals give us the wrong result because animals' bodies are not exactly the same as our own. You can see the two subject-verb pairs.
Experiments give and bodies are.
Linked by because. It clearly shows the reason why the experiments give the wrong result.
Precisely. The adverbial clause explains the main clause. Now, there's a really important punctuation point here. The source stresses for formal writing, like IELTS.
The comma rule.
You got it. When the dependent adverbial clause comes first, before the main clause, you must use a comma after it.
So if we flip that example.
It would be. Because animals' bodies are not exactly the same as our own, comma. Some experiments on animals give us the wrong result.
Got it. Comma essential when the because part starts the sentence. A common mistake to watch out for, I bet.
Definitely. Crucial for clarity and correctness. Okay, moving on to type 2.
Let's do it.
All right, the second type is relative clauses. These are different. They don't usually tell you why or when. Their job is to modify a noun, to give more specific information about that noun.
Like adding a descriptive detail, telling us which one.
Exactly. Defining it more clearly. The key words here are the relative pronouns, who, which, that, and sometimes where.
And they stick close to the noun they're talking about, right?
Always. Right after the noun they modify, like a little label attached to it.
Okay. The example was, animal experimentation, which is legal in most countries, should be banned.
Perfect example. See how which is legal in most countries jumps in right after animal experimentation.
Yeah, it interrupts the main sentence, animal experimentation should be banned, to add that extra fact about legality. It clarifies which animal experimentation we mean, or adds key context about it.
Precisely. It modifies animal experimentation. And notice, this structure gives you two sets of subject-verb combinations within the sentence.
Right. Animal experimentation should be banned is one SV, and which is legal is the other SV. That's a clear sign of a complex sentence structure.
It's a defining feature, two clauses working together. Okay, ready for the third type. The source calls this one potentially the trickiest.
Uh-oh. Okay, let's see. What is it?
Noun clauses. Now, the source says they're probably the most difficult to master, but let's focus on the most common use, which is actually quite manageable.
Okay, good.
Often, they act as the object of a verb, so they answer the question who or what after the verb.
Like if the verb is think or know or believe, the noun clause tells you what is thought or known or believed.
Exactly that. Instead of following a noun like relative clauses, these usually come after the verb.
The example was, I think that corruption is wrong and that those guilty of it should be punished.
Right, so what do I think? First, that corruption is wrong. That whole phrase is the first object of think. And second, that those guilty of it should be punished. That's the second object.
Ah, I see. Both clauses, starting with that, are functioning like nouns. Specifically, the objects of the verb think. They're the content of the thought.
You've got it. The main clause is simple, I think. The noun clauses are dependent, providing the what's. Now, here's a crucial tip, especially for you listening, regarding that word that. In everyday speaking, we often drop the that, I think corruption is wrong, or I believe animal testing is bad.
Yeah, sounds natural.
It does. But in formal writing IELTS, academic papers, you should always include the that when introducing a noun clause like this.
Always. Okay. Why is that?
It just adds clarity and formality. It makes the structure absolutely clear and unambiguous. It's a small word, but it signals the grammatical function very precisely. Omitting it can feel a bit too informal for high-stakes writing.
Right, okay. So that is small but mighty informal writing. Good tip. So we've covered the why hitting those IELTS bands and the how understanding clauses and these three types: adverbial, relative, and noun clauses. Let's bring it all together. What does this mean for you, the listener, trying to improve your score or just your writing in general?
Well, connecting back to the IELTS criteria, the main takeaway is you need to show you can use a mix of these different complex sentence types, not just one type over and over.
Variety is key.
Yes. And accuracy matters too. For that band 6, using them fairly accurately is enough. But if you're pushing for band 7 or more, you need to be using them very accurately.
So fewer mistakes, more confidence in using them.
Exactly. It shows command. It shows you can manipulate the language effectively to express more complex relationships between ideas.
And just looking ahead, for those really aiming high, like Band 7+, there were those other techniques we touched on.
Right. Things like reducing relative clauses, making them shorter and more elegant, basically, and using nominalization more effectively, those add another layer of sophistication.
But that's for another day. For now, mastering these three core types, adverbial, relative, noun, is the absolute foundation you need.